Hey again YouTube, Nutjob with a machete, back with a machete review for you. What this is the cold Steel Kopis. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm correct, if my Greek's right, kopis means something like I cut or I chop. And when you see this thing, you'll see why it's named that. A little bit of history for you. The kopis was an actual sword, very much like the Spanish falcata, and as you can tell from the forward swept blade with a deep belly, it's very similar also to a grukri, which you've seen my bush hog review. You'll know exactly what it looks like. They're great for chopping. I will show you guys some ballistics gel test where you can see that this thing is also great for chopping, and that it's actually pretty damn sharp and pretty decent at slicing. So let's get going. As you can tell, this is just a standard nylon Cordura sheath. What's different about this one is triple retention. Now, I don't actually like this sheath very much for taking it out and for putting it in. This thing's probably going to get its own kydex. But the triple retention means, of course, that you can have two of these open. This thing's not going to come out. It doesn't really matter which single snap is left. It's not going to pop out. But it does mean that getting at this in a hurry is a little more difficult. Now, it's an open back sheath where you can see the blade just pops out like that. That is due to the design of the actual blade. I don't particularly like that because, of course, that means that foreign material can get into this sheath and can rub up against the machete or start rust, that kind of stuff. I can tell you that this rust inhibiting paint that they put on there will scratch off eventually. And I mean, you guys have seen me actually strip all this stuff off. So yeah, difficulty putting it back in, it's just a little bit. It's really more a personal preference thing. But yeah, you pretty much have to seat the tip and then get the straps out of the way to get it back into its sheath. So, standard belt loop. This one actually seems like it's a little bit smaller than normal, but I don't know, maybe you guys have one that's got a bigger belt loop. One of the things I noticed right off the bat was actually how light this thing was, and that is due to the fact that it actually has a thinner steel than of regular cold steel machetes. I checked this against my Gladius, against the cold steel Bowie machete that you guys haven't seen yet. I've checked it against actually a cutlass machete that I'm going to be doing a review for and posting a little bit later. But I figured I'd be all scientific and take my calipers. And this is 2 millimeters in thickness. Now let's compare that to a regular machete from cold steel. This is the cutlass machete, and it is 3 millimeters, a little more than 3 millimeters thick. That makes a hell of a difference in the weight. I think if this thing was the regular thickness, it would probably be pretty heavy. But what that means is it's very, very springy. Both of these, when they came, they had really nasty burrs. So if you do get one, make sure you check for burrs all along the edge. It took probably about 40 minutes or so with a diamond stone and then my whetstone kits to get this thing really sharp. And of course, sharp enough to actually nick myself a bit. Not on this one, on the friend's machete. So, how sharp is it? Well, piece of paper. Pretty sharp. The nick on my finger was really just a in and out, and that's how sharp the damn thing was. I mean, obviously it shreds the paper just fine. I do like the balance of this. Kopis, falcata, gokri, anything that's really head heavy. It's very weight forward, and it has this nice bent neck. Gives you a great chop. You can hear it singing through the air. But one of the things I really do like is, very much like the barong, the handle gives you a really, really good grip. Some of the historical resources that I've looked into had slightly different handles, not a semi-enclosed D-ring handle like this is. They've usually got kind of a swept heel, I guess, so that you get a really good chop and draw when you're using this thing. You do kind of need it. With all that weight forward, your hand might want to slide a little bit, kind of like on the barong. The handle is the standard, I think it's fiberglass reinforced handle, but what I've done is I wrapped it up with cloth hockey tape. It was a little bit slippy, and when I was doing the chops, my hand wanted to slide down quite a bit, so with the hockey tape, it's really, really nice grip. Unfortunately, one of the things that the hockey tape covers up, which you might be able to see the shadow of here, is there's an indentation for your fingers when they wrap around. So you can't really see that on here, but it's there, and it does give you a nice grip. Good control on the chop. Even on fast movements, it's actually fairly good control. I do wish the blade might have been a little bit thicker. I'm a little bit worried about taking this into the field and using it for any sort of heavy chopping, so I would call this probably a medium light chopper. It might even become my fiance's machete for when we go camping, but yeah. So some people are wondering whether or not there's a little bit of metal, like basically calling this a full tang machete. This is a magnetic screwball, so pretty strong magnet, and while it's not particularly strong, it's definitely got some metal in there. But I mean, there is metal definitely in the handle. I just think there's not a lot of metal obviously going around the full thing, so just be careful with that. But still, there is metal actually going into the partial B, and there is metal going all the way down to the lanyard hole. With regards to the lanyard hole, some guys might notice that every once in a while, when you're looking through the lanyard hole, the steel doesn't match up to the handle. I think they're getting a little bit better with that with these Kopisi, multiple Kopis, because the lanyard hole lines up just fine on this one. I don't have to ream around in there. I mean, all in all, this thing is pretty cool. Like I said, it's good control for when you're chopping with it. Chopping into heavy material, I'm not so happy with it. You can feel a bit of the shock, and because of the light weight of it, it doesn't really bite in as much as one would hope with this style design, but all in all, it's actually not bad. So why don't I show you guys some of the chop tests that I did on the ballistics gel. It's my standard ballistics gel recipe. It's in a yogurt container, so it ended up about as thick around as my bicep. And just really for kind of shits and giggles, I put a piece of maple in there, maybe about as thick as my thumb, just to see if it would chop through that wood. So let's go to that, and then we'll be right back. So yeah, as you can see, good chops on the ballistics gel, and I did manage to break that stick on one of the downward chops. So really nice and sharp. The swept tip here, I mean, obviously the sweet of the blade is almost right on the deepest part of the belly. Even the recurve is actually pretty sharp. So you could use this as a multi-purpose item. If I had to, I could use it as a draw knife. Be a scary ass draw knife for me to use, but you know, I do like it. I really do like it. It's lightweight, so if I have to hump it, you know, it's pretty good. Of all the machetes I own, this is the, I'm going to say the second lightest. The Bowie machete that I've modified is the lightest, but it's also the shortest. Next would probably be this, and then the Barong machete, then going up the big guys. So if you wanted a lighter weight machete that could do probably light to medium tasks, this one would definitely be it. If you're really looking for something that's just simulating, you know, a Greek sword that you know, you want to chop with, or you want to play around with, or you want to clear the backyard with, this is definitely an idea for you guys. Well, that's about it, guys. As always, thanks for watching this video. Feel free to click like if you like this video. Feel free to subscribe for future videos like this. And feel free to share this video as much as you want. And as always, guys, I'm Nutjob with a machete. Until next time, stay sharp.